They didn't see it coming, not the media, not the establishment, not even the tight-lipped operatives inside Westminster. But today, the mask slipped, and what erupted wasn't politics as usual. It was raw, unfiltered, and unforgettable. Keir Starmer was left reeling, not from an internal leak or another policy backfire, but from an explosive public confrontation that has now gone viral across every platform. Tommy Robinson, the firebrand voice that's long shaken the walls of Britain's polite discourse, clashed head-on with London Mayor Sadiq Khan, and the aftershock landed squarely at Starmer's feet. Before we dive deep, make sure you subscribe to Britain Report, the one space where we cut through the noise, challenge the narrative, and bring you the stories the mainstream refuses to touch. So what exactly happened just moments ago? It wasn't staged, it wasn't pre-planned, and it certainly wasn't welcomed by those in power. During what was meant to be a routine press walkabout in South London, Sadiq Khan found himself face-to-face with Tommy Robinson in a highly charged encounter that rapidly spiraled into a full-blown confrontation. Onlookers say Robinson didn't hold back, demanding answers, accountability, and most of all, justice for the ignored and betrayed. His target? The systemic failures under Khan's leadership. But that wasn't where it ended. The real escalation began when Robinson began tying those failures directly to Starmer's Labour, accusing them of coddling chaos, silencing critics, and weaponizing institutions to protect their own. Robinson's words weren't vague, they were sharp, specific, and broadcast to millions in real time. He cited police inaction in grooming gang cases. He accused Khan's office of misusing public funds on biased community initiatives that served as smokescreens for political agendas. And most explosively, he claimed Labour MPs were complicit in a broader scheme to silence voices like his, not with debate, but with legal intimidation and digital censorship. Khan, visibly shaken but trying to hold his composure, called the comments dangerous rhetoric and dismissed Robinson as an agitator. But the damage had already been done. Phones were recording, hashtags were trending, and within minutes, the footage had exploded online. Starmer, watching from a safe distance, had no control over what came next. In less than 3 hours, over 100,000 new signatures were added to a growing petition demanding accountability not just from Khan, but from Starmer himself. Why? Because this clash has ignited something deeper, a boiling frustration that many feel has been brewing beneath the surface for years. A belief that Labour, under Starmer, has insulated itself from critique while ordinary citizens face rising crime, deteriorating services, and cultural policies they never voted for. This isn't about whether you agree with Tommy Robinson's politics. This is about impact. In that single unfiltered moment, he did what no one inside Parliament dared. He named names, called out networks of power, and connected the dots out loud. And now the public is asking the same question: why isn't Keir Starmer addressing these failures head-on? Why is his party doubling down on division instead of confronting the disillusionment pouring in from across the country? Sources close to Labour insiders confirm that Starmer erupted behind closed doors after seeing the footage. One aide described him as furious, cornered, and scrambling for narrative control. Another leaked text described the leader as fearing an uncontrollable optics disaster, especially with an upcoming policy rollout just days away. And it shows. Labour's PR team immediately went into spin mode, issuing vague statements about tolerance, unity, and rejecting hate. But not once did Starmer address the specific allegations Robinson raised. Not once did he take accountability for the policies driving this public rage. Instead, Labour figures closed ranks. MPs posted choreographed support tweets. Media allies attempted to redirect the narrative, focusing on Robinson's past rather than the explosive truth he aired in the present. But the public wasn't buying it. Comment sections flooded, petition signatures surged, and perhaps most telling, even some traditionally left-leaning commentators began asking if Labour had finally pushed too far, too fast. And let's not ignore the deeper panic gripping Starmer's leadership circle, because the issue now isn't just the Robinson-Khan clash. It's what it exposed, an image of a Labour Party so disconnected from the grassroots. It can no longer suppress the backlash with polished slogans and photo ops. They fear this moment will stick, not as an isolated viral blip, but as the symbol of a wider populist reckoning. And Starmer knows it. He knows the Labour faithful are growing restless. He knows many on the fence, even those who once gave him the benefit of the doubt, are now watching closely, asking if this really is the leadership they were promised. Safe hands? Stable future? Clean break from chaos? All now in question. What happens next is crucial, because if Starmer continues to deflect, if he chooses silence over self-reflection, he may find himself at the center of a storm he can't spin his way out of. The petition is growing, the footage is spreading, and more importantly, people are talking, not in think tanks or Westminster lounges, but in cafes, on buses, and across dinner tables. Real people, real anger, and a growing sense that the political elite are finally being confronted. For Starmer, the path is narrowing. Every hour he stays silent, every evasion he attempts, reinforces the very narrative Robinson shouted on that South London street, that Labour isn't listening, and worse, doesn't care to. So here's the reality: whether you support Tommy Robinson or not, whether you trust Sadiq Khan or not, this confrontation has peeled back the carefully curated image Starmer's team has worked tirelessly to maintain. The strong leader, the principled lawyer, the reformer, all now in question, not because of a scandal cooked up behind closed doors, but because of one very public, very human clash that captured exactly what so many feel: betrayed, ignored, and lied to. And as always, we affirm our reporting is grounded, sourced, and free of distortion. We report what others won't. If this report resonated with you, if you believe in holding power to account, no matter who it offends, leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Britain Report. Because this story isn't over. In fact, it's only just beginning.